At the Sears Center in Hoffman Estates, Chicago Cougars hockey. The Cougars taking on the Blaine Energy from Minnesota here on SportsTownChicago.com. And Chris Labasco, that first period for the Cougars was total domination.
Completely. 5-1 lead they have. 6 goals scored in that period, 5 of them by the Cougars. It's a high-scoring period for one team. The Cougars, it was multiple people getting involved too. Michael Buter, of course, had 2 goals, but you had all the other goals came from other players. Matt Olson's played a really good game as well defensively, getting a lot of points just from sending shots low and into areas where guys can tip the puck in, Eric. So a good team effort, I would say, from the Cougars so far, other than the 1 turnover. As we watch the replays of some of the goals here by the Cougars, you're going to see this first one, a bouncing puck that just goes right to Michael Buter into the slot on a bad turnover by the Blaine Energy. For the Energy, those are mistakes you can't have happen. That's going to give the Cougars all the momentum, but it gives them easier opportunities than what they already have. So that's one of the big things that they need to do. For the Cougars, though, it's really been good puck movement. You're going to see the tip in here from Gavin Nickerson to get that goal right out in front. Again, it's not right directly in front of the net front presence, but it's net front presence nonetheless.
Right. Any type of net front presence is better than none at all. So your coach, Chad Ballard of the Blaine Energy, you're down 5-1 after 1 period of play. Chris, what do you do? What do you tell your team?
Well, I think the biggest thing that the Blaine Energy needs to make sure that they do is, 1, make sure they get the puck past the blue line. That has to be a point of emphasis. A lot of the Cougars' opportunities have come because they've had their line out there for so long, able to keep the Blaine Energy defense trapped in their own zone. Make sure you get the puck out into the neutral zone. They see the 10-foot in, 10-foot out is the rule that they normally say. Make sure you get that out past that blue line of your own blue line for the Energy. The other thing is, too, I think you need to change up what you're doing as far as your checking goes, your defensive positioning for the transition. Throw something different at the Cougars that maybe they haven't seen from you guys. Try to force them to dump and chase. You really need to not allow them to carry the puck into the zone. They want to come in off a rush because they are a fast team and they're a very skilled team. So you have to try and slow that down too. That's one of the keys for the Energy. And of course, when you look at it for the Cougars, Eric, it's just about keeping up with what you're doing. Keep the intensity, keep the pace that you're keeping. Don't let up because you have a 5-goal lead.
Second period face-off just about to take place here in the Sears Center. Nickerson on the draw. Cougars now going from your left to right. Pucked up into the Energy zone. Near point, Olsen fires shot on that. Rebound, stick the side and knocked all the way down. The Energy are still killing a few seconds left on the penalty, so that is not an icing call. And that will end the penalty. Both teams are at full strength now with the Cougars carrying the puck into the Energy zone. Knocked away, stick the side. Picked back up by Nickerson. Nickerson shot on net, save, stick side by Sanders. Far corner, Nickerson behind the net, looking to center. Gets it to the point. Schiffman back over to Raybeck. Raybeck down low, trying to feed Nickerson. Nickerson rubbed off on the play there and picked up by the Blaine Energy. Trying to carry it out for the Energy now, dumping it into the zone. On net, we haven't said his name a lot, Aaron Zaveski there, Chris. He's kind of been a lonely figure for the Cougars so far.
But the Cougars are all right with that, even though it's his first game. Obviously, he's 1 for 4 as far as stopping shots. He's 3 for 4 in stopping shots. He's given up 1, but that 1 wasn't his fault. He's played well for the shots he has seen.
Puck centered, taken away by the Cougars, kept in at the point by the Energy, knocked out of the zone, and we have a 2-on-1 attempt here. Schiffman feeding it in, shot off the post. Letmansky rocketed that post, shot right off the post, and it went up into the netting, and we have a stoppage of play. Let's get a look at that 2-on-1.
I think that was a crossbar that he hit, and he rang it. When you look at it here, Hunter Schiffman early on making that pass across, right there, if you stop it, I would have liked to have seen him go back to Hunter Schiffman because look at the positioning of the defensive player. His back is to Hunter Schiffman. He has no chance at all whatsoever to get over to where Hunter is. I would have liked to have seen Letmansky make that pass right back to him, but not a bad decision to take the shot because he did have the lane.
Puck in the near corner, Cougars and Energy battling. Coming up with it is Lawnberg. Lawnberg carried the puck on net, stick to side by Sanders. Lawnberg possession near corner, up to the post. Fired save, and puck knocked out of the zone by the Energy. Looking to get a 2-on-1. Malik for the Energy dumps it into the Cougar zone, where it'll be picked up by Palermo. Palermo behind the Cougars net, trying to feed Nickerson. I'm sorry, that's Malk there. And Zaveski, some trouble with the loose puck. Finally able to corral it and freeze it, but a little danger area there early going for the Energy.
Well, the Energy needed to come out with something here, and they've definitely come out with a better effort than this first period, creating opportunities for themselves. You're going to see that puck. It takes a weird bounce off the side of the net, and it just bounced out into the slot. Good decision by Zaveski to try and cover it up. It's always tough when you drop the blocker on top, though. It's not as good of a cover as the glove hand, so that's one thing he has to be careful with.
It just kind of snuck through his glove here in the blocker, exactly. Puck along the far board, Butera trying to carry it out of the Cougar zone. Over to Sullivan. Sullivan carrying it over to the near boards into the Energy zone. Far corner, drops it off, unable to make a connection there, and carrying it out for the Energy is Engdahl. Engdahl, looks like we're going to have a penalty on the Cougars here. Going to the box.
Butera. Getting called for a hook here too, Eric, and that's another one of those, and you saw him talking with Mike. They were a little bit off page there. Sullivan dropped it directly behind him, and Butera was cutting in towards the slot. So you saw them talk there. That's the good thing, is when the communication is off, the worst thing to do is to not say anything to each other. The best thing to do is what Mike and Mike just did.
Mike and Mike in the evenings here. All right, behind the net, Sanders, the Energy on the power play. Cougars pick up the puck. Kropp feeding it over to Sullivan. Sullivan trying to make a move around two defenders. Coming it out of the zone now for the Energy and carrying it over. Berglund shovels it behind the Cougars net, where it's picked up by Kane. The Energy battling for it. At the point, far point, shot on net. Glove saved by Zaveski. Does not give up a rebound. Not much of a shot attempt there by Kuda. And an easy save for Zaveski.
This is an opportunity for the Energy to gain some energy, no pun intended.
All right.
They really have to try and utilize this power play. You don't necessarily need to get a goal. Obviously, the best situation, especially with the score being what it is, get a goal here. But you want to at least try and get something working for your team offensively. Get a little bit of confidence.
So Steiner wins the draw for the Energy. Gets it back up to the point. Not able to keep it in, though, however, was Eric Engdahl. And the Energy off to regroup. Dumping it in is Adler. And Zaveski's going to hold on to the puck here rather than play it.
He was looking to maybe play it. Nobody was close enough for him to, so he decided to just hold on to it. Not a bad decision, and because it looked like he was going to play the puck, he actually kills off a couple of extra seconds. Smart move there by Zaveski. Energy
wins another draw. That's Steiner again with another face-off win. Trying to keep it in the zone is Adler, unable to, and picking up the puck is Engdahl. Engdahl carrying it over to the near boards. He's going to dump it in for the Energy. Behind the net, Zaveski slows it down where Matt Olson will pick up the puck. He'll shovel it over to Schiffman and knocked out of the zone by Cody Raybeck, where the Energy will look to corral it. Engdahl.
It's been a really good kill, though, from the Cougars so far. They haven't let the Energy set anything up on the power play.
Puck dumped back into the Cougar zone. Chasing after it is Matt Olson. He's going to ring it on over outside the Cougar zone, where the Energy are going to have to regroup. Here with about 20 seconds left on the power play. Coming into the Blaine Energy zone, taken away by the Energy. Coming out for the Energy is Jason Bach. Bach coming in 1-on-2, looking for some help. Feeds it back over to Zach Berglund. Back at the point, shot, save. Just over the shoulder of Sanders. Kept in at the point at Caskey. Caskey keeps it in. And now it looks like we might have another penalty call. Or was it a puck knocked down with a high stick?
I don't know. I think the hand was up, I think, before.
All right, Cougars box open.
So maybe he went early. I don't know. Well, Lomberg's the one going into the box.
Jesper Lomberg in the box.
I don't know if they had too many men or.
Yeah, I didn't see the call. We'll have to listen for the replay here, the announcement.
Cougars penalty number 23, Jesper Lomberg, 2 minutes for.
Kropp carrying the puck.
Roughing.
Roughing's the call. Kropp carrying it in the puck into the energy zone behind the net. Puck along the near boards. We have a scrum for it. Kuda and Dagnall battling for it. Kuda comes out with it. Behind the net. Picked up by the Cougars. Kuda trying to skate it outside of the energy zone.
Great work by Dagnall. He put so much pressure on Kuda there.
Oh, puck deflected by Dagnall almost into the energy net. All he was doing was trying to stop that passing. He almost deflected it into the energy net for a goal.
Just watch the effort here. This is what you want your penalty killer to do. Not give up, skating hard to the puck, getting his stick into the passing lane, and luckily for him, it bounces towards the net. Almost was a goal for him. Would have been his second, but still, it's very good work by the killers for the Cougars. But the thing is here, you've had 2 straight penalties. Got to stop taking these penalties that they have been.
Sullivan knocked off the puck. Butera coming in, unable to get a shot off. It was stick to side wide there. And we have a Blaine Energy player down on the ice. He is in a lot of pain, and the referee is going to blow the whistle here.
Butera's a little bit lucky that the ref didn't see what had happened there. You're going to see that he hits him in the back. I don't think it was on purpose, but it's still a call regardless. You can see because Butera's trying to go towards the puck. The puck's on his stick. He takes that shot. Player's stopping. He's trying to go after. His elbow comes up and is going to catch him in the back of the head. He was kind of trying to brace himself because he saw the player in front. I couldn't tell. It's tough to tell if that was intentional or not because you see his head turning there towards the end.
Either way, no penalty called. Coming out of the zone for the Energy is Jason Bach. Bach carrying it over and picked up by Butera. Kept into the point by Berglund. Berglund, far point, dumps it below the goal line. Coming up with it is the Cougars, and skating away with it right now is Butera. Butera might have a breakaway. Coming out to knock it away is Sanders, however, to thwart that attempt by Butera. Shot wide. Energy pick up the puck. Bach kept into the zone by Hauk. Hauk shot on net. Sanders saved, and the Energy were able to pick up the rebound that was lying there. Looking to feed Bach. Coming into the zone. Kuda fires a shot on net and saved by Zaveski. Whoa, and we have a little action taking place here. Zaveski did not like that extra poke by Kuda.
Kuda just trying to create something for his team who haven't really had a lot going other than that 1 turnover goal. You see him come streaking in, takes the shot here, and a little bit trouble handling it was Zaveski. You see it kind of bouncing around, but the whistle went, and that's why he took exception because Kuda kept whacking even though the whistle went.
We have a little discussion now. I'm not sure if the Energy has called timeout.
We got a Cougars player going into the box.
Well, we have a penalty on the Cougars.
It's Hauke going in.
Hauke with the penalty. Micah Hauke. So 2 men in the box for the Cougars. And this is going to be a 5-on-3 opportunity for the Blaine Energy.
They're going to take
a short 2-man advantage.
So they're going to take their timeout for it too. I'm a little surprised that they would use the timeout now. I mean, you're already down 5-1. I would have used it earlier on in the first period, to be honest. But when you look at it, you don't get many 5-on-3 opportunities, so they're going to draw something up here. Clearly, is what's going to happen. So for the Cougars, it's obviously try and win the face and get it out quickly because that should kill off the rest of your 5-on-3, and then you get Lomberg back out there.
So it'll be about a 15-second 2-man advantage for the Blaine Energy here. And I believe Jake Steiner.
We'll see if we can see what they called, what happened that got Hauke the penalty. If he said something, because you see, he comes in here, he really didn't do a whole lot. He wasn't the one out in front. It was actually Palermo.
Maybe they had the wrong person here, unless something continues on from here. Well, I don't see anything from that replay.
Yeah, nothing really, but there really wasn't anything after that, so he must have said something.
Play resumes. Kuda at far point. Slides it on over to Berglund. Berglund shoots the puck on net. Saved by Zaveski, and he'll hold on with a couple players in front, but no damage done.
You get a lane for that shot, but you need some net front presence. Make it more difficult on Zaveski. He had a clear lane to see the puck.
Bach and Dagnall for the draw. Dagnall for the Cougars, Bach for the Energy. And the Energy win the draw. Berglund shuffles it over to Kuda. Kuda near point. Tries to shoot it on net. Gets it over to Bach. Tries to feed a man. The puck is picked up by the Cougars. Man, Lundberg now out of the box. Skating into the Energy zone. Firing a puck on net was Matt Olson going coast to coast there on the penalty kill. Kuda getting it over to Berglund for the Energy. Drops it back to Kuda. Kuda over to Bach. Inside the Energy zone, near boards. Giveaway to Lundberg. Lundberg and Bach fighting for it now. Kuda picks it up. Feeds it over to Berglund. Carrying it over the Cougar line. Shot, save. And we have a whistle here as Zaveski holds on to that puck. No rebound given with just over a minute on the second penalty for the Cougars, second power play in this secession.
And that's one of the things for the Cougars, too, for Zaveski specifically, is, this is his first game with the team. It's going to take a little bit of time getting used to the sight lines and everything here. Make sure you hold on to those pucks when you can.
Kropp near boards carrying it in for the Cougars. Looking to center, circles it around the net, fires a shot, a ring around attempt off of Sanders. He able to save it. Puck knocked into the near corner. And picking up the play is Jake Steiner. Steiner leaves the puck over to Jordan Adler. Carrying it into the puck is Malik. Malik dumps it in behind the Cougar zone where Sanders sticks it aside. Zaveski sticks it aside. Malik fighting with it with Kropp. He's able to get it over to Jake Steiner. Back to the point. Shot blocked and out of the zone. Letmansky going after it. Picked up by the Cougars. Along the near boards, Palermo. Long attempt, shot wide on the penalty kill here, all the way down the ice. Adler picking it up for the Energy. He's being contested there. Good work put on by Lemansky. And coming out of the zone for the Energy. The puck stolen away by Schiffman. Schiffman inside the Energy zone. He feeds it over to Butera. Butera shot saved by Sanders, and he'll hold on.
It's another time when I wish the Cougars player would make a pass. This time it's Butera to the man who earlier I said should have made a pass, and Letmansky. So you see here, this is good work by Hunter Schiffman to get that puck. Butera here, that's actually a good decision to take that shot. Now that I get to look at the replay, Letmansky had his stick tied up. So for Butera, did what he could. Good opportunity created by the Cougars again, though, with the tough forecheck.
And a quick shot attempt there by Butera. Boy, he's having himself a game tonight.
He's trying to get that hat trick.
Puck on the net. And it is frozen.
Hand pass is the call, too. I mean, Andrew Van Dyke, it almost looked like he was trying to throw it in the net was the funny thing. And it wouldn't have been a goal if he did. But he ended up hitting it off the side of the net. And that's when the whistle came. That's why the face-off's going outside of the zone.
Outside of the zone, far boards. Face-off draw won by the Cougars. Schiffman dumps it in. Energy knock it back out. Schiffman looking to dump it back in. And picked up by Kuda of the Energy. Kuda dumps it in. He's probably been the most noticeable player so far for the Energy, Chris.
Yeah, a name we've said a lot.
Mike Sullivan now carrying it over center ice into the blue line, into the Energy zone. Looking to get around a defender, unable to. Puck steered aside by the Energy. And Adler picks up the puck, but we have a penalty. Looks like we have a hook now on the Blaine Energy.
Yeah, it's tough to tell in the scrum there and the high speed where the hook came. But Sullivan with a good effort bringing that puck in, creating another opportunity for his team. I thought maybe he was going to drop that puck off to the player behind him. Instead decided to try and take it in and then make another move. They're working well together and creating opportunities. Two guys were at the net there for the Cougars as well. Sullivan was there on the right side, and then they had a player on the left.
So Nickerson and Rayback. Nickerson with the draw for the Cougars here on the power play again. They're 2 for 2 on the power play. Beltrami dumps it in. Rayback along the near corner. Near point, Beltrami. Steers it on over. Shot on net. Knocked aside wide. Nice deflection there by Nickerson. Nickerson shot side. That went wide on net. Looking to get it behind the goalie's back there. Rayback along the near boards. Being contested. All right, now we have one of the Energy players lost their stick momentarily. Got it back. Puck centered. Rayback. Rayback to the point. Beltrami near point. Shot on net, deflected by Nickerson.
That could have been called something right there because Nickerson got can opened there, it looked like.
Sanders was able to come up to save. We'll take a look at the rebound or the replay here on the rebound attempt.
Good movement again from the Cougars on the power play. Beltrami sees a lane, sends the shot through. Nickerson gets a tip in front. Nice save on it. You see there, Nickerson definitely got upended as he was going.
That was Aaron Holcomb upending Nickerson there. Dagnall winning the draw. Beltrami point goes wide of Sanders. Dagnall, far corner. Dumps it over to Nickerson. Nickerson along the boards. Dumps it to the far point. Near point now Beltrami. Back over to the corner. Near corner was Rayback trying to feed Nickerson. Nickerson and Rayback in the corner. Over to Beltrami at the near point. Back to Rayback near boards. Feeds it over to the right point. Left point. Shot saved by Sanders, and he'll hold on with just over 46 seconds left on the power play for the Cougars.
The net front's presence has been pretty good for the Cougars, but on this shot, not enough there. They're going to see a player go in front. I believe it's Nickerson who comes in, but he's a little bit late. He's on the wrong side. That's the defender doing a good job of keeping him out of the way, though, of his goalkeeper and not able to get into that sight line.
Sam Zatera wins the draw. However, the puck goes out of the zone. Chasing after it is Palermo. Palermo behind the Cougars net, looking to reset. Skates it up, looking to feed Lawnberg. Lawnberg along the near boards, feeding it over to center ice. Butera shot on net. Stick save by Sanders. That was a nice stick save, and the Energy are able to clear.
Pretty good one, too. Butera, you can tell, is feeling it here tonight.
I think that's an understatement of the year.
Right.
He is just on fire. Carrying it into the zone is Lawnberg, near point. Near corner now. He's going to circle behind the Energy net, looking to feed Butera, the hot man, but the puck was knocked away. Palermo, near point. Shot was unable to get through. We have a breakaway now. Going in alone is Jason Bach. Shot, save, score! Unable to make the save was Zaveski on a breakaway attempt, shorthanded, or it might have been just as time expired. And now the Blaine Energy are able to close the lead to 5-2.
You see the shot here from Palermo as he's coming in. You have to be able to get that puck through. You saw that he was trying to go around the player, couldn't do it, and it bounces out and turns into a a breakaway for the Blaine Energy.
So Jason Bach with not sure if it was a shorthanded goal, but a breakaway goal nonetheless. Cut some of the momentum for the Cougars here, 5-2. Cougars still in the lead over to Blaine Energy here with over 8.5 minutes to play here in the second period. An elbow attempt there. All right, puck along the near boards.
Corey Schwartz just ran right through it, though.
Schiffman looking to dump it in. Puck taken away by Adler. Adler feeding it over to Kuda. Kuda is well defended on this play, unable to get a shot attempt off, and the Cougars will pick up the puck. Schwartz feeding it over to Peters. Peters carrying it into the slot area, stick to side, and picked up by Kane, or Rayski for the Blaine Energy. Behind the net, we have some activity in front of the net. Nothing doing now. Sanders looking to cover. Puck is still loose. We have like a rugby scrum going on. All right, Cougars able to maintain possession. Schiffman from the near point, wide of the net. Rung around the area by Jordan Adler for the Energy. Kept in, though, by the Cougars. Nice board battle. Schiffman keeping it in. Trying to get around a couple defensemen. Kropp picks it up at the near point. Feeding Peters. Peters coming in on the near corner. Puck stick to side. Picked back up by the Cougars. Kropp in the corner battle. Peters and Kropp with a corner battle. It looks like we have a delayed penalty and whistle blown. And now we have a little action going on. Jason Adler with a fist to the face of Brendan Peters.
Peters took exception to that, too.
Trying to goad Peters into a penalty to kind of even this out. But Adler's going to go to the box. The only one going to the box, so now we have a penalty on the Blaine Energy with 7:10 to play, 7:06 to play here in the second period.
When you look at it for the Cougars, this is a chance to maybe gain some momentum back. Yeah, you've outshot the Blaine Energy here in this period, but it hasn't been a good period here in this, at least for this kind of middle part of the period.
You've outshot them, but from the scoreboard standpoint, you're down 1.
Got a player going off, too. I think maybe for the Blaine Energy, I'm not sure. Or no, sorry. They had 2 guys going into the box for a second. I'm not sure what was going on. Maybe we got a bad spot on the ice. So you do have 2 guys going in.
Yeah.
You still have only 2 minutes on the board.
I think there might be a misconduct penalty.
Maybe. Adler's
going off the ice.
Adler is going off now. And I wonder what they're doing over there. I don't know. I wonder if there was what happened over on that near side, because they were fixing the ice. Make sure that it's a smooth spot. I don't know what happened there to cause that to happen. But now you're going to have the ref go over and talk with the Blaine Energy coaching staff about what was called and what's happening.
Looks like he signaled that he also received a 10-minute misconduct, I believe. We'll see if that's the case. But I thought he was signaling a 10-minute misconduct.
Well, for the Cougars, regardless, this is one less player on the bench of the Energy, but they get the power play. So checking from behind and, like you said, 10-minute misconduct. There you go.
All right, Cougars win the draw. Face-off. Olsen. Raybeck. Raybeck along the near boards. He trades places. Back to Olsen at the point. Near boards Dagnall. Olsen fires it from the center. Stick to side. Picked up by Dagnall. Dagnall in the near corner. Coming out with it is Raybeck. Raybeck along the near boards, feeds it to Olsen. Back to Raybeck near boards. Back to Olsen. To Raybeck, playing a little catch here. Shot on net. Easy save for Sanders. And he holds on with a face-off here in the Energy Zone.
I like the idea from Raybeck. He sees he has a shooting lane. It's just there's nobody there to tip it or do anything. Again, the net front presence, the issue right now for the Cougars, something we saw them doing really well in that first period. They haven't been getting, they're around the net, but not in the right spots.
Blaine Energy gets a fresh set of penalty killers on, and the Cougars maintain their same line out there for the power play, at least at this moment. Dagnall going behind the net. Raybeck near boards. Olsen near point. Back to Raybeck near boards. Olsen back to Raybeck. Raybeck circling in from the face-off shot. Face-off dot. Stick side. And coming out of the puck is the Energy, and they're going to dump it into the near corner. Picking up the puck now and skating it for the Cougars is Nickerson. Nickerson over the blue line. Around the near face-off dot. Sticks it over to the side. Tried to feed Cody Raybeck there, was unable to make a play. Nickerson centers it over to Dagnall. Dagnall has possession. Far face-off circle. Near face-off circle. Raybeck shot wide.
He had him beat, too. Raybeck couldn't pull the trigger fast enough.
Net was wide open. Raybeck asking for the puck again, looking to get it. Cougars keep it into the zone. Schiffman. Nice job keeping the puck in the zone. Far point, Olsen and Schiffman switching things up now. And we have pucks frozen. We have a face-off with just under 30 seconds to go on the power play.
For that shot by Olsen, it was more just to try and keep the play alive. He kind of got stuck in an area where he couldn't move the puck back across ice. He had to go down somewhere, and that's where the lane was.
Van Dyke with the draw. He wins it, however, outside of the zone. Skating after it for the Cougars is Beltrame. Along the far boards, picking the puck up. Pass over to Lawnberg near half boards into the Energy Zone. Trying to feed Letmansky. He's in the corner. Letmansky in the corner. Lawnberg near boards. Over to Beltrame near point. Tries to get a shot on net. That was deflected nicely by Kasky. And the penalty is over, and the Energy are back at full strength here. Lonberg fire boards. Loses the puck. Picked up by the Energy. Energy exiting the zone. Carrying it is Jason Bach. He fires a soft shot on net. Saved by Sanders. And he was crunched into the boards there was Beltrami by Bach. Bach throwing a couple hits in succession here. Trying to up the ante as far as physicality for the Energy. Coming into the zone now is Zatera. Zatera trying to make a move. Red shot, score! Dropped the puck past. He was trying to make a move. Puck dropped past. And into Letmansky, and Letmansky fires it. And the Cougars now lead this game 6-2.
Well, I guess for technical reasons, you're going to give Zatera an assist here, but he wasn't trying to assist it. It just happened to bounce right to Letmansky. So I don't know. I don't know if he gets the assist or not. I know Letmansky gets the goal. A very good wrist shot, one of the better wrist shots on the team for the Cougars, too, and Letmansky. But it was kind of a fortunate play for the Cougars. But hey, it's something that builds energy for you.
It was, and not for Blaine. But definitely Zatera was looking to go coast to coast there. Shot on save, stick to side by Sanders. Butera behind the net.
I don't know how that went. Didn't go in the net. That was a weird bounce.
Sullivan near face-off circle, looking to get a shot off, unable to do it.
He held the puck too long, way too long.
All right, picking up the puck is Raisky into the far corner. Van Dyke will pick up the puck for the Cougars. Van Dyke over the Cougars' blue line, feeds Sullivan. Over the Energy blue line, near corner. Feeds it, shot save. Quick save there by Sanders, and the Energy come out of the zone. Carrying it for the Energy, dumping it in the zone is Thomas Indigard. Onto the net, saved by Zaveski. He holds on, and we're going to have a face-off inside the Cougar zone.
I really like watching Mike Sullivan play. You're going to see him here. This looks like maybe it's going to turn into an opportunity. Well, this is the shot that ends up stopping everything. But before that, he jumps up into the play defensively, helps out, doesn't allow that puck to get through. Then he goes around the net and streaks up ice to create an opportunity for his team. A very hard worker. Fun guy to watch. Just when he's out on the ice at times, you just have to watch him just to understand what he's doing, not just on the offensive end, but just as a player on the ice.
Cougars picking up the puck now. Schwartz fires a shot on net. That's stick to side by Sanders and into the crowd. Now we'll have a face-off into the Energy zone.
Got some kids running over there for that souvenir. Can't blame them either.
3 minutes and 28 seconds on the clock left for Chuckabot purchases. Get over there.
So the face-off will be to the left of Blair Sanders. 6-2, the Cougars leading the Energy here. Just under 3.5 to go in the second period. Schiffman dumps it into the corner, picked up by Peters. Peters battling for it. Back to the point, Schiffman. That puck was deflected, however, by Kuda. And Kuda is going to go into the Cougar zone. He's being chased by Schiffman, however. Nice check in the corner by Schiffman on Kuda. Unable to get a pass off. Cougars pick up possession. Skating out with the puck and feeding it over to Peters. Unable to make a connection. The Energy turn the puck around. Olsen picks it back up. Over to Schiffman. Schiffman carrying it over by the left point. Circling all the way in on net. Unable to get a shot off, however. We have an arm up. Looks like we're going to have a penalty. Penalty on the Energy. Delayed call at the point. Shot on net.
That was a little bit of a early whistle, I think.
That was a quick whistle. That puck was still free. However, referee lost sight. Well, delayed penalty.
Well, right, but still, even with the delayed penalty, usually they hold off a little bit longer than that. I thought maybe it was a little bit early still. Because technically you're supposed to have control if you're the other team for the whistle to happen to go.
Yeah, control seems to be very loosely interpreted on some of these delayed penalty calls.
Right.
Either way, the Cougars are going to go to the power play here. Just over 2.5 minutes to play here in the second period. Cougars win the draw. Beltrami from the point, shot wide. Picked up by Lonberg, far boards. Lonberg, far boards, moving it in from the faceoff circle. Shoots, glove save by Sanders, and he'll hold on with 2:13 to play here in the second period.
Cougars, again, the biggest issue that I'm seeing now with their power play, there's not enough guys in front of the net to create something. Their shots are coming from outside and not into the higher scoring areas either.
Beltrami looking to make a pass over to Zatera. Zatera unable to corral that. We have another breakaway going in for the Energy, shot wide. That was Jason Raske with the shot wide, and the Cougars coming back in. Puck in the far corner, picked up by Zatera. Over to Olsen. Olsen shoots from the center ice, and a glove save by Sanders. He's going to hold on with just under 2 minutes to play. Cougars hockey here on SportsTownChicago.com. So 6-2 Cougars. About 1:19 left on the power play for the Cougars. We'll see if they can cash in here. Cougars lose the draw. Energy dump it down into the Cougar zone. Olsen chasing after it. Feeds it over to Schiffman. Schiffman over to Dagnall, carrying it into the zone. A 2-on-1. Peters over to Nickerson. Glove save by Sanders, and he's going to hold on. That's some nice pinpoint passing by the Cougars. And a nice attempt by Nickerson. And an even better save by Sanders. So we're going to get a look at the replay here. 2-on-1. There you see Nickerson coming in on the left side of your screen. And now we go back to live action. Saved by Sanders behind the net. Kuda rings it around. Kept in at the point by Olsen. Raybeck circling in. Shot save. Glove save. So one thing I think we've noticed here, at least from a goaltender standpoint, is Sanders does have a good glove. He's good on the glove side. High, low. Mostly high, though. He's able to get those shots high. So from a Cougars standpoint, they're going to look to go 5-hole or to the blocker side. But he's been pretty good on the glove side, at least from what we've seen here. Olsen along the boards is Raybeck. Olsen back to Raybeck at the point, near point. Near corner is Dagnall. Along the boards, Raybeck. Olsen back to Raybeck, near boards. Circling in, shot off the iron. Nickerson trying to keep it in at the point is Schiffman. Schiffman swings it on over to Olsen. Olsen dumps it on net. Easy glove save for Sanders. And we'll hold on for a face-off. This face-off will be to the left of Blair Sanders of the Energy. Just a few more seconds for the power play for the Cougars. So what they want to do here is see if they can win that draw and get a shot attempt off. Van Dyke will be on the draw. Sullivan and Butera on that line. Cougars win the draw. Olsen. Back to Sullivan, near boards. Back to Olsen, left point. Near boards, Sullivan. Shot on net over the glove of Sanders and over the net. Behind the net, Cougars circling in front of the net. Getting a shot off. Sullivan off the iron. Hits the post. Schiffman trying to keep that puck in the post behind the net. Sullivan chasing after it, and the Energy are able to clear as the penalty expires. That might have been an icing call, but it was played by Zaveski. Olsen picking up the puck. Long pass taken away by the Energy, however. Trying to make a nice stretch pass there. Puck sticked aside by Zaveski. Picked up by the Energy. Cougars along the near board, near corner in their own zone. Getting out is Van Dyke. Pass attempt unable to get through to Butera. And the puck dumped into the Energy zone, sticked aside by Sanders, where it's picked up there by Housen. Shot saved by Butera right at the buzzer. So a similar situation like last period. Shot attempt right at the buzzer. This time Sanders was able to hold on, and the period expires. So not as much high-flying action as there was in the first period. Each team was able to put a goal past the goaltender on the other team. Energy came up with a goal, and the Cougars came up with one goal. So 6-2 here at the end of the second period. Shots on goal, an astounding 48 shots for the Cougars to just 11 for the Blaine Energy. However, we're only looking at a 6-2 lead after a very, very offensive first period where the lead was 5-1. In a moment, we're going to go down to ice level with Chris Labasco, where he's going to be interviewing Coach Brad Stofers to get his take on the action that took place here in the second period. So interesting to see what comments he has in terms of the play and what it looked like from the standpoint of the offensive explosion that was the first period. 6-2, Chicago Cougars. And we're going to go down to ice level now with Chris Labasco with Coach Stofers. Chris, take it away.
Thanks, Eric. Down here with head coach and general manager Brad Stofers. Great first period from your guys. Second period, couple of turnovers caused them to get one opportunity. Thoughts so far of the game?
First period was great. I think the biggest difference today was puck movement. You saw we were back to the old Cougars where we're very unselfish. All guys are sharing the puck. Even if it's only a 5-6 foot pass, you're moving it to him because he's open. And that really opens up defenses. When you're forcing them to move and react, we're able to put more pucks through them. They bounce back in the second, which you have to expect this time of year. Teams are going to, push back, and points aren't easy to come by. So they gave a little pushback. I think we tied that second period, so we need a little bit more. A couple times lackadaisical guys got caught behind us, and we just got to stay sharper.
A little couple bounces went your way, couple went their way too, was part of it as well. That's how one goal happened for you guys, one for them. When you're playing a team that is really, they're still playing for something, and obviously you guys are too. Where's the emphasis when you do have such a good first period to try and keep that energy?
Yeah, this time of year, I hope they just find it within themselves. There's a lot still on the line. Home ice advantage in the playoffs and league championship at this point. So you hope that they can, weather the storm and continue to push and fight. And shouldn't take too much from me. And the leadership in the room is good, but making sure all guys are on board. This next 20 minutes should be indicative. Hopefully, I would expect us to, as we weather the storm, to tie that period. I would expect another big period here out of us, hopefully.
I want to talk about two guys. They're not technically on the team, but they're obviously a really big part of the team for you guys. The twins who've been here for most of the games, helping you guys out. Can you talk about them, Coach?
Yeah, Nick and Vince, they do a great job. We're very fortunate to have them. They're a little worker bees, if you will, down and around the guys. They have good interaction with the team, always positive, always working hard. Just great role models, even for our guys being 10 years older than them, just to see how hard they work, setting up the benches, getting the extra sticks, making sure things are just nice and tidy around the equipment room and the cage. They always do what's asked of them. Can't speak highly enough of them. Great kids. Really, really fortunate to have them as part of our team.
Definitely saw them out here doing things. I think they might even be out there right now, probably helping out. Always here. Now, going into this third period, obviously you want to see more of what you saw in the first period. What are your thoughts on the lines? I want to ask you about Mike Sullivan in particular, because he's a guy that when you watch him on the ice, he's always giving it everything, it seems.
He's been a huge addition, and we started him at D. He's traditionally a forward, so Mike Watson's been sick of a little bit here this week, so we sat him, just continue to give him some rest, which opened up a spot up front and threw Sully up to where he's probably most comfortable at the forward position, and he brings it all. He's a kid that had the game taken away from him for an amount of time, and he just loves to be back on the ice and being with the guys again, which is awesome to see. Another guy with a ton of positive energy and leadership, but he's giving it his all because he knows this is his last chance, and he knows what it's like without the game. The game was taken from him for a year and a half, 2 years, and I think he knows what it means now and how fortunate he is to get another chance.
All right, Coach, good luck in the third period, and thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Eric, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chris. So the end of the second period has our score, the Chicago Cougars 6 and the Blaine Energy 2. Again, shots on goal, 48 shots for the Cougars to just 11 for the Energy. So as Coach Stofers mentioned, as Chris asked Coach Stofers about the importance of the game for both teams. So even though Blaine Energy only has 18 points and they're in last place in the Western Conference, they're only 6 points out of that last playoff spot. And realistically, from their standpoint, they've played decent hockey the last 12 games. They had a 24-game losing streak during a stretch of this season. That's very tough to overcome. However, in their last 12 games, they have been able to go 6-6 to at least climb back into the conversation about trying to make the playoffs. Whether they do or not, 6 points with not a lot of games left, it might be too big of a task based on the hole they dug themselves, and based on the score of today's game, this isn't helping them. But the game is important to Blaine Energy, so we'll see how they come out here in the third period. And for the Chicago Cougars, you're looking at a team who has won 19 of their last 23 games. However, there have only been 2-2 in their last 4. And I know they're not satisfied with that, and Coach Stofers wants to up the level of play for his team. So he was very satisfied what he saw from that first period. Maybe not as exciting in the second period. He talked about the team being more unselfish in that first period, looking to pass, whereas in that second period, maybe they were looking to shoot a little bit more than pass. So how the team comes out in the third period, we'll look to see. Both teams, though, know the importance of the game. The Cougars looking to extend their lead. They have a 3-point lead in the Western Conference, looking to wrap up the top spot in the Western Conference so that they can maintain home ice advantage throughout the playoffs. So the importance to both teams is evident here, and the Cougars on top here in the with 2/3 of the game gone, 6-2. Again, 48-11, our shots on goal. And joining us back here in the broadcast booth, Chris Labasco. So some good observations there coming from Coach Stofers. Talked about the style of play that he's looking to see from his team.
Yeah, I think that it's similar to what we were thinking too, Eric, where the first period was really the period you want to see from the Cougars. Second period, at times, yes, but not quite as well as the first. The puck movement wasn't quite as crisp. And it was a lot of individual stuff, it felt like, and a couple of times, too, and just some bad bounces.
And he talked about unselfish play, and that's what we saw in that first period. And you highlighted a few instances in that second period where the team maybe looked to should have passed as opposed to shoot as much. So that's probably something Coach wants to see a little bit more going into the third.
Right, he definitely does. And I think, too, he just wants to see his team keep that consistency. This is, like he said, you're building up for the playoffs. This is when every game is really important, especially with what's on the line for the Cougars to be the number 1 overall team. That's not just in the West, but in the East, too. They want to be that.
And again, as you see on the screen there, a sizable shot advantage for the Cougars. So that just speaks to the level of play. And that's even with the Blaine Energy having a couple power plays there in the second period, unable to capitalize.
11 shots is a okay 1 period, not 2.
No.
So I think the Cougars have to be happy with that. I really thought that even though they had given up a couple more opportunities in the second period, I still thought, clearly they were the better team, even though they were even on the scoreboard, I believe, in that second period. Even so, the Cougars when you run out so far out in front sometimes, when you're the front runner, it's hard to keep that pace at times. And I think that's the biggest thing we saw was they kind of lost their pace a little bit. Hopefully they can get back to that in the third period and finish strong here, especially with a game that you have to go into tomorrow against your next opponent in Decatur.
Chris, I want to ask you, you're looking at a goalie in Aaron Zaveski. He's not getting a lot of shot attempts against him. How do you evaluate his performance in a game like that, in which you're just not that active?
It's not really that – it's actually not that easy to evaluate because the biggest thing you can look at is where's his positioning when guys are coming into the zone. Where is he when the puck is in certain places? There's not a lot of shots getting to him. How is he handling shots that do get to him is something you can look at as well. Is he controlling the rebounds? Is he getting them out far to the half boards, or is he getting them in areas where guys can take advantage of it, or is he absorbing that rebound and not even giving one up? What is he doing with the puck and how is he doing it? We've seen he seems to be more of a stay-at-home guy, doesn't really seem to leave his crease a whole lot, so you kind of get a feel for his style a little bit. Seems to be more of a guy who's a little bit more back in his crease too, from what I've noticed so far. But again, we haven't seen a whole lot. There hasn't been a lot of rushes that have come into him. I still need to see him a little bit more to get a better judgment of him. It's always tough in games like this when there's not as many shots, but you can't fault the defense of the Cougars or the Cougars players for that, and you can't fault the man in net either. In Zaveski, he's done what he's needed to in this game so far, and that's all you can ask.
The Cougars just have the puck possession battle going. 2 periods are in the book here in the Sears Center in Hoffman Estates. The Cougars are up 6-2 as we head into the second period intermission here on SportsTownChicago.com.
SportsTownChicago.com is your place for NIHL high school club hockey.
Ooh, wow.
Every goal, all of the checks, and every jarring hit.